making a debate, I'm probably going to do a dangerous thing, and this is really how I play. It could be a major loss or it could be a major win. Looking at, and I listen to all these silver pundits out. I told you I used to, well, I hardly ever listen to SGT Bull, whatever the hell his name is, but there's a bunch of same old garbage. I listened to Chapman for a little while, see about 5 times, basically figured out he's saying the same thing, but it's not so much he's saying the same thing. Well, I figured that whole deal with Chapman, Alex Jones, the conspiracy crowd, all this other garbage. Most people don't want to hear it, but I'm not in the camp of most people, but I'm probably going to play a dangerous game here. They could just lose a whole shitload of money, but I'm going to see what the hell. I'm not basing this just on a gamble, though. Could be wrong. And I might go very hard into triple leverage, put most of what I have into it on silver. But I'm not sure exactly when I want to do it, but it's going to be soon. But if it starts jumping up, I'm going to be scared to do it because I could be missing a movement. That's usually what happens. But I might do a combination of AGQ and a USOV, double leverage and triple leverage. This is a chart going back on silver. Okay, this is the the exponential chart, and a lot of times I like looking at this. I know the other. Let me put it this way: technicals work, but then again they don't work. It's quite obvious that anybody would have a brain. I could draw 50 million lines on here. It's a bunch of crap. Provided if you make the money on it and you got a secret and you got a system, you're definitely not going to blab it out on here. There's no doubt about it. I know that. But even so, you can have all the technical information in the world. Watch for the landscape changes, because actuality, the technicals do work, but you know what? You're working with a different bunch of postulates and axioms. What happens is the factors that go into the equation have changed. The root numbers have changed. The root landscape has changed. So that's why you just can't look strictly at technical all the way, because there's things outside of it that will affect it. Quite obvious. And I think a lot of people criticize the chartists. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But let me put it this way. I use a different type of thing, and I don't know if this is going to be a smart thing or not. But I'm looking at a few things. First off, one common sense thing I pointed out back here was this global manufacturing index. When we saw this thing decreasing a little bit, this preceded when oil was increasing. Oil can break the economy. Common sense. Don't need to be a brain surgeon. Oil can break the economy. If it stays up there long enough, it's going to break the economy. So the PMI was going down at that time. Right now, the oil isn't high enough to break the economy. It could, and it might bring it down a little bit. I might do a small bet tomorrow on it if it comes down a slight amount. If it takes off, I'm going to miss it again. But if I see oil taking off again, I'm going to jump into silver harder, because I think it's going to follow it. Because oil's not high enough yet where it's going to crash the economy. Now, this is the oil chart. Now you could see, these are like exponential increases. Now to see like 2 weekly candles like this, that's some pretty wild moves. But we had a hell of a candle back here, a weekly candle back here, back in February too. So this thing can go up a slight amount, so I might put a small bet on double leveraged oil if I feel everything's going okay with the euro, because the euro is kind of following a lot what's going on. General market conditions are following the commodities, and I don't want to be too critical, but I get aggravated at some of this stuff I hear on these channels, these silver channels, because I'm watching them, and I've been watching them, and I like some of the channels. I'm not saying I don't, but some of the stuff that's coming out is like people, well, I guess that's what they do. They just figure they only look at silver, But there's a lot of things that are going on, and you actually got to be astutely watching everything that's going on. You still don't have a surefire bet, that's for sure. But I think at one point in time, we're going to reach this critical level of oil, and all the commodities are going to tank like a crazy. Now, I don't want to be in triple leverage, obviously, when that happens. I want to be out of it. I want to have my money, period. That's the plan. But as far as everything corresponding as far as the global manufacturing index, oil, the euro, gold, silver, what's going on, maybe even with Iran, of course. Actually, oil is not actually up due to high demand or rosy economic outlook. It's due to Iran. But that tensions in Iran will push up gold, because gold is traditionally a safe haven during in certain times, which can push up silver. So I think right now it's still a pretty good time to jump in, and I I probably could have just held, but I don't like holding triple leverage. But I might get in there and see, hopefully hold for possibly a good 10% movement in the price of silver, and that should be more than 30% on triple leverage, just depending on how fast it goes up. Because looking at this PMI index, it's still going up. But I got the attitude that I'd rather give my money to the elite than I would to a lot of these idiots out here anyway. So I would not. I'm not a sharing person. I throw it in the ocean. I throw physical metals 5 miles down the ocean before I gave them to people. Believe me, that's exactly how I am. And I'm not into this game to save the world, because actually I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need physical precious metals to make the economy work. And I pointed this out before. And there's a lot of fallacies out there how physical precious metals are going to get the banksters and all that. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. It's a joke and a half. It's going to actually make you some money. It's going to make you some money, because yes, they are going to kind of lose control and all that type of stuff. But the thing is, physical metals are never a driving force behind the economy. They never were, and they never will be. And that's just the reality behind it. People will work for cigarettes. People can exchange cigarettes in beer or whatever the hell they're going to do, for the exchange of goods and services, and they can use that as money. As a matter of fact, during the financial collapse in other countries, they had local municipalities issued like these bond debt indentures, whatever the heck it was, and they were using these things as money. It wasn't exactly money, but it was something issued by the local government, and it actually was localized money, and it spurred on the economy, and all that stuff was purely paper. So I mean, really it is, I know the central banks get out of hand, and what they do is they print so much paper, they destroy the value of it, and that's why you want to hold precious physical metals. But precious physical metals is not the driving force behind the economy. That is without a doubt. But as far as looking at all these factors that are going on, silver probably is a decent time to jump into, but I don't know if I'm going to jump into it this week. I'm not 100% sure. I'd like to see it go a little bit below 35. Then I think I'm going to jump into leveraged silver, triple leveraged with a hard bet, and probably double leveraged with a pretty hard bet. And also going to be playing some of the other stuff that's going on. Like, in other words, I'm also in copper, palladium, and stuff. I don't think I'm going to touch that double palladium fund for nothing. But yeah, it could be a bad thing. But I'm going to tell you right now, these people that are talking about physical silver, they're nothing but a bunch of talking heads too. They're nothing but a bunch of talking heads. I mean, they don't know what the hell's going on. If they knew what the hell was going on, they'd be throwing their money down. They don't know. All they know is collect coins. The system's bad. Collect coins. forever and ever, hold them forever, and you know, someday, you know, nirvana will be reached. I don't, you know, they're a bunch of bullshit themselves. So I think that if you really know which way the metals are going to go, you're going to bet. Now, Stellar Concepts, I realized he made a pretty good prediction on the last rise up. He sold a bunch of his silver, then rebought it back. But he also screwed up back in 2010, where he sold silver thinking it was going to pull back, and he didn't get it right. I'm not going to go sell. I'm not going to even sell that much physical silver because I'm kind of in the camp where the financial system might totally collapse. But I think that I probably will sell some as it goes to 75. But you're going to see the silver pundits, when this stuff blasts through, say, 50, and it goes through 50 like butter, say it does, all these silver pundits, and you know who the hell they are, they're going to be saying 200, 150. They could be right. I don't know. But I don't think it's going to go straight up to there. I think it's going to pull back first. And the thing I am watching is, and I don't even know if I should be saying all this stuff because, you know, it's you know, it's this manufacturing index, and I'm going to be watching the oil. If the oil's staying up there really high, that's going to start slowing down the economy. It's going to have to kill the commodities. And silver's a commodity. And, you know, I'm so sick of hearing, you know, about the fundamentals with silver. You know what? It's almost like it's a religious cult with a bunch of whack jobs. And I'm looking at, say, platinum, for instance. Platinum was knocked down from like 1900 to 1398 this year, and then it's springing back, right? Yeah, silver had a really big game, but so does platinum, right? So does palladium too, right? But you know, they all got knocked down too. So I mean, it's not like a conspiracy that the major media isn't mentioning this, because it's not up there. They're not up to their all-time highs. None of them are. None of them are. But they will be. They will be this year. I'll guarantee you that. And I'm not saying that because I'm a silver bug. It's because I'm looking at hard, cold reality. They're doing everything they possibly can to make everything look great for the elections. So even though silver jumped up 25%, it's probably going to go up a hell of a lot more. So I might jump into it very hard, and it's a scary bet, but I'm probably going to do it. And I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to do it. And if the crap goes up really fast next week, that's going to be driving me nuts, because that means I missed it. But because this metal, like you said, it's the devil's metal. You don't know what the hell it's going to do for nothing. There is some general rules to follow, and I'm going to be following them. But I expect if I start doubling money on this junk, I'm getting the hell out of it. Now, as far as where I'm going to keep that money, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure right now. But I might keep it on the side in a brokerage account, getting ready to short markets when it does this kind of crap. And I'm not going to know ahead of time when it does. But say, for instance, you know, oil fell, right? This was, say, July 5th, whatever the hell it was. And right after that, silver fell, right? In other words, it wasn't because of margin rate increases. It was because the economy was slowing down. So, I mean, you're going to do the margin rate increases too, and that's going to be something you're not going to know. But unless you're watching for stories about insiders selling off, and that's something to really watch very carefully. But I might make a very heavy bet on triple leverage silver coming up in the near-term future. But my attitude is, you know, you know what? I could tell you right now, anybody can make money. Anybody. You know, if you look around, the reality is people are wasteful. They're all garbage, and anybody can make money. When it really pushed their back to the wall, if they, you know, economize, they got all this money left over. You can see this with anybody. So anybody can make money. But the problem is, you know, 90% of people, when they have money, they totally lose it anyway. But my thing is, this could be a bad bet, But I think I'm going to do this very hard, because I think later on it's going to be pretty much very scary to do. Very scary to do, because once silver goes up to say $75, $80 an ounce, you definitely don't want to do it there, because it's going to crash. You might make some money on a short, going short, but once it crashes, it may not spring back. And you know, this is almost like a rule. Say that ratio goes down to like 28 to 1, like that one person says, you know, silver to gold, it goes down to 28 to 1. Well, at that particular time, what's going to happen? It's probably going to flatten out for a long period of time like it did. Maybe not as long, maybe it'll be a 6-month recovery or less. But it's probably going to be like a little bit of a, you know, the dead cat bounce, and then it's probably not going to, it's probably going to be floating around 50 for a while before it takes off to like 350 or 400. So, you know, it's going to be hard to judge. So I'm thinking right now is probably more the better time to do it. It's already showed a lot of bullish trends. We got, you know, we got this PMI index looking good. The euro's looking good. You know, this is the euro. It's recovering. Looks like the Greek debt situation is going to be okay for a while. And it only needs a couple months. I mean, silver can, I don't know what it's going to do, but say it goes to 38.50. Actually, if I did this triple leverage, I'd love to get into it hard below $35 spot price, and as soon as silver goes over 38, dump it right there. Don't wait for 40, and it might be hitting 39 something for all I know, but I'll dump it. So that might be my plan coming up. So you know, I don't know, but you know, my attitude is I'd rather give my money to the elite than I would to a lot of people anyway, so that's the way I look at it. I'll throw my money in the ocean before I'll go help some people. And I'll tell you what, that's not because I'm a bad guy, but I know how a lot of people are, so believe me, that's what I would do. So, you know, I'm not afraid to make this bet, but I don't want to be incorrect about it either. I know it's a gamble, but that's the way I'm going to play it. The exact opposite of the physical silver crowd, but I got the physical toe. And I ain't selling it till I think I either buy it back cheaper or I think it's at a high. I won't sell it cheap, not at all.